Hey everybody, how's it going? Eagle here. And what I would like to talk about is a theory slash speculation that I've kind of been brewing up ever since the end of chapter 918, where we see the gravestones of Kozuki Oden, Momonosuke, a third Kozuki that we don't get the name of in the back, because we can tell, but it is a Kozuki gravestone because it has the little shrine atop. And then we get also vassal gravestones for Kinemon, Kanjuro, Raizo, and two other gravestones for the vassals. And we, as far as we supposedly know, most of these people are not actually dead, and there's people actively looking for them. So what is the deal here? So my theory basically is that Momonosuke, Kanjuro, Kinemon, Raizo are all basically vengeful spirits, or as they're referred to in Japanese culture, yurei, that are merely manifestations of the will of their prior selves to complete tasks that they have not completed in their life. So, and I think I have found a story that Oda may be drawing inspiration from with a small plot line in Wano. And it's basically called The Ghost of Sakura. And it's about a 17th century lord who, when he took his father's seat, imposed really heavy taxes on an already heavily overtaxed region. And this caused all kinds of stuff. Nobody wanted to buy property because the taxation on it was too high. Nobody could afford stuff. It led to everybody pretty much fleeing the province or resorting to begging on the street. After this, a group of 130 chiefs of 136 villages got together, including Sogoro, who was 48 at the time. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that the story is about the vengeful spirits of a farmer called Sogoro and his wife Oman. And so Sogoro and 135 other chiefs of villages get together, and they decide that they're going to go bring a petition to the lord of their land. Well, a bunch of stuff happens. Sogoro gets sick on the day they're about to depart. They leave without him. They get denied. They call him to help. They get systematically denied a bunch of times. Well, he eventually decides that their only recourse is to bring the petition straight to the shogun himself. So he awaits him on his route out to worship his ancestors and prayer to him. And he thrusts the petition into his litter with a 6-foot bamboo pole and climbs up on the side of it and implores the shogun to read it and pick it up, which he does, but Sogoro is arrested. Now, the shogun reads his petition about the corrupt lord, and he imposes punishment onto the lord and forces him to pay back the taxes, this and that. He's enraged by his humiliation, the lord. So he orders the execution of Sogoro, his wife, and his 3 sons. And it was a terrible execution. They were crucified, and then they were made to watch the beheading of their 3 sons. And after that, they were killed. And Sogoro cursed Kotsuke no Suke upon his death when it was kind of written off as just whatever, but as time went by, Kotsuke's wife became pregnant, and about 7 months into her pregnancy, she was plagued by manifestations of Oman and Sogoro, their spirits, in her room every night, grabbing her, cackling at her, saying they were going to drag her off to hell. And they drove her mad to the point where she sickened and died. And after this, it continued on to Kotsuke, and they tormented him every day, everywhere he went, to the point where even when he ventured to the shogun's palace to visit the shogun, they followed him there. So as his family implored him, Kotsuke finally gave in to his family's advice to build a shrine to Saguro and to canonize him as Saint Daimyo and, pay honors to him. And when he did this, the spirits ceased to appear. So it's just basically, a bit of a story on folklore about how a lord was corrupt, and these farmers and common folk kind of got together to petition, this, and when they got, what they wanted, their lord had to suffer for it. And it's basically they were, paying being overtaxed on farmland and their crops, so they couldn't eat. So now, if if you're you've read One Piece, you have kind of probably drawn the same similarities I have up until this point. About the farming and the not being able to eat and overtaxation. And so this is a story I think Oda may be drawing inspiration from for a small plotline in Wano, or at least the plotline of the Kozukis, in which I think that it's possible they may have all actually died in the past, and that Momonosuke, Kinemon, Kanjuro, and Raizo are manifestations of their will to complete a task that they couldn't complete in their life, which is actually a thing in Japanese, folklore, is that if somebody dies having not completed something they really wanted to complete, or even if burial rites weren't, done properly, a yurei is born out of their spirit, and it's can cause all kinds of stuff. I mean, Japanese folklore attests even natural disasters to vengeful spirits that, wanted. It's basically a yurei is a manifestation of wanting. So, yeah, I believe it is quite possible at this point, based on how old the stones look, and also the fact that we haven't seen, other than in flashback that was kind of implied to be before they actually arrived on Wano, we have not seen Kinemon, Kanjuro, Raizo, or Momonosuke at all. And both Law and Zoro seem pretty shocked at the ghosts of Wano. And I think that if it was just Odin and them are still alive, it would be corny. So, and also I think that Oda is actually going to draw on some folklore here for the Wano arc, because obviously it would be pay homage to the Japanese culture. So that pretty much is it. I believe that they may be vengeful spirits out to implore some outside force to complete the task that they and their lord could not in their own lives. And also that the spirit of Odin and his wife, like the spirits of Sogoro and Oman, his wife, could possibly be plaguing the shogun, who we also haven't seen. He may never come out of his house because he's plagued by these vengeful spirits. So who knows? It very well could prove to be wrong just as well as it could prove to be right. But this is these are just my thoughts on it. So yeah, this was my theory, and thank you all so much for watching. If you did like the video, if you liked the video, comment down below, let me know what you thought. Discuss it with me if you thought it was a bad theory or a good one or whatever. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of my content, and dislike the video if you dislike the video, of course. As always, have a beautiful day, and this will be Eagle signing out. Fire. We'll see you guys next time.